committee to defend the Egyptian revolution. We called an emergency protest just last night for today as a result of the declaration in Egypt not only of military law, but they are allowing the old prime minister under the dictatorship of Mubarak to run for office and are basically trying a counter-revolution to reverse the gains of the revolution that woke up the world and inspired even us here at home to form Occupy. So it's tremendously important that we come out and we defend the revolution, that we oppose what's happening, we oppose our own government support for the remnants of the old dictatorship, and we expose the lies in the mainstream media about what's going on in Egypt.
What's happening in Egypt and across the Arab world is something that's happening for the first time in our lives, in my parents' lives, and almost everyone who's been around so far. They haven't witnessed this kind of movement of people fighting for their rights, fighting for themselves, and getting rid of the dictators. Dictators who are supported by the US, paid by the US, and stayed in place because of US support. And now we're throwing all of that up in the air. But not only dictators that are supported by the US, but also other dictators that might have disagreements with the US. We're sick and tired of all of them. We want our freedom. And for people in the US, we need your support. We want you to make sure that the US government stops supporting dictators in the Middle East, that they stop trying to control the people of the Middle East, and they let us be free.
The guy who wants to be a president in Egypt, he is from the old regime, from Hosni Mubarak regime, the ex-president. The people who steal money from the people, the president who steal money from Egypt, from the people, the poor people, they don't have nothing. So they're gonna elect one guy like Shafiq because the army is with him. They want to put him as a president so they can get the rest of the money from Egypt.
We're here to say that we're against the Egyptian dictatorship. We're for the Egyptian revolution. We want the generals out. We want the revolution in. And this is not the revolution. You have the generals coming back in. US-backed dictatorship in Egypt. It's made up of the generals of the army. They get $1.3 billion every year from the United States government for weapons to use against their own people. They've killed hundreds of people during the Egyptian revolution, and they're continuing to do that. They torture, detain, imprison, and otherwise brutalize the people of Egypt with our tax money, and we're here to say that that has to stop. The generals have to go, the military dictatorship has to go, the United States has to stop supplying weapons to the Egyptian dictatorship so that the revolutionary movement is that without the Egyptian revolution there would be no Occupy. We in this country and around the world have taken inspiration from the Egyptian revolution. Now we have to stand up for the revolution against the US-backed dictatorship.
I'm here to stand in solidarity with the Egyptian people who will
Long live the revolution! Revolution, yes! Long live the revolution! Revolution, yes! Long live the revolution! Revolution, yes! Long live the revolution!
Our problem is that in 30 years, Mubarak regime collect around him had various people from us, various military people, various engineers, various judges. We don't have problem with our judges. We don't have problem with our military. We don't have a problem with engineers, with doctors. But Mubarak picked up some various people from us and surrounded himself by this could be 1%, 2% of the various people from Egyptian people. About this decision was taken yesterday from the judges that it's illegal to put independent candidate with party candidate. This actually, what I try to translate the Egyptian wise, the Arabic wise in English. This actually is like to say something good, but actually you mean something bad. It's like you ask somebody to cross the road because he wants to cross the road, but there is a car coming, so he will have accident. So we had this problem before, many years ago, and we decided that independent candidate is not fair to go in election with party candidate, which one third out of the parliament members. But we talked about that before the election started, that that 9 months ago, we had this issue. But where was the judges 9 months ago before the election started? This actually hurt the Islamic regime. I'm not one of Islamic people or this party. I don't vote for these people. But where was our judges 9 months ago when this decision was taken? Why they didn't take this decision 9 months ago? So Egyptian does not have this cost for this election, for the parliament. You cannot imagine how much money Egyptian people lost, and no production, and 2 days for election, and all these people, like 90 million Egyptian, 2 days, and all these efforts was done before the election, and after 9 months you cancel everything and you want to repeat everything again. I understand this is the right decision, but it's the wrong time. You should take this decision 9 months ago. This one thing. The other thing about this election between these two candidates, actually these two candidates, one from Islamic regime and one from the previous regime. If this guy was taken, we're supposed to have one from Islamic regime against one from the civilian regime. Why we didn't take this guy out? He's one from the previous regime. If you are one of the people who creates a problem, you cannot be one of the people who creates a solution. If you are part of the problem, you cannot be part of the solution. He was in Mubarak regime for many years. Mubarak brought him as a prime minister to get rid of this revolution. So how come he's going for election now? And we see something is like it's not fair in the election. I don't want to talk about these details. I'll let the people talk about this. But these people was supposed to be taken out of the election before even the election started. If that happened, we were supposed actually to have one of the Islamic regime and one of the civilian people. So people will have a choice between the Islamic regime and the civilian regime. Will be a really free election. But now Egyptian people have to choose even between the Islamic regime or previous regime, which 75% of the people, they don't want either one. 75% of the people, they don't want, actually to be fair, more than 50%, they don't want Islamic regime or previous regime. So it's not fair to put most of the people, it's not fair to put most of the people to choose, to have two choices, which they don't like both of them. They don't want Islamic regime and they don't want, I know some people want Islamic regime, I understand some people want the previous regime, but Islamic and the previous regime both together, they are minority. If you put them together, while the civilian people, they are the majority. So how come with the majority of the people to have two choices, they don't like both of them because you didn't take this guy out? Because he was supposed to be out, because he's part of the problem, he cannot be part of the solution.
My associates said, I would like to say this to you all Americans, that things are going to advance. Whatever we discuss about the political games, this is something from the previous military regime to keep us playing like mice, looking for the piece of cheese at the end of the maze. This is all going to go to hell. I'm very surprised to see an actual implementation of a Stockholm syndrome, who actually like to be oppressed, and they promote oppression, and they promote the military dictatorship. I am from third world country, and I realize our third world countries are corrupt because the people get corrupt even inside their head. They don't have the ability to be free. But I'm very optimistic, truly I am, because the people who started the revolution are not the old people. The typical Arab is in your mind with a big belly, mustache, and smoking a hookah. This is people like me who play PlayStation, Nintendo, and have fought the monster at every level. And we have persistence. We can come back and fight the monster again and again and again. We won't give up very easily. As a matter of fact, we have much more patience than most of these aging dinosaurs. And the mistake that the military council has created is so stupid and so vulgar. It's going to be a killing point for them. That's why I'm so optimistic. I feel we are at the same stage we were when Mubarak made his second speech about he loves Egypt and all this bullshit, and then he sent the camels in. And it was like a blatant lie. And then everybody united behind the revolution. Islamists, not Islamists, they all want the revolution. We're not trying to divide. They're revolutionaries, and then they're Stockholm Syndrome patients. That's what we see. At this point, everybody's going to unite behind the revolution. The parliament, the first free elected parliament in Egyptian history, it was taken out in a single, in a single statement. So, although I'm sad to see the Egyptians, promoting the dictatorship, but for 90 million, you might find some mud jobs every now and then. On the other hand, the revolution is going to go ahead. Yeah. People are confused in their heads, but anyway, the revolution has to go ahead. These people are old people, they don't understand the new world. They don't understand there's YouTube, there's internet, there's Facebook. I can literally pick up the clip where Shafiq talks about how he's happy, how he's happy that the camels went in, how he's happy, how he was sad post-revolution. An interview with him, he said, sadly enough, the revolution succeeded. He was sad that it succeeded. So everybody can pick up these things. We can Google stuff up, we can find things, and we will be able to topple this regime. So I think we're very optimistic, and things are going to go against their will, because truly the new generation is a first world class citizen. This regime is a third world class citizen.
All this sort of emergency protest was called within, I don't know, maybe 15 hours ago. That we show up and that we continue to follow what is happening and act in solidarity. We do owe a debt of solidarity to our brothers and sisters in Egypt. They have woken up the world. We have a global upheaval taking place, very largely as a result of the fact that the Egyptian population, much of the Egyptian population, had the defiance and the bravery to stand up to dictatorship, bring it down. And what we are learning around the world and in Egypt is that revolution is not an event. It's a process that will go on for some time. And it will not be resolved one way or the other by the ballot box in coming days. It is a setback. It is not to be, we can't kid ourselves. This is an enormous setback, and this is a step forward for the forces of the counter-revolution. But all is not done, and we have to be careful. We know how much their state TV lies, while our corporate media lies as well, which is why we have to rely on the alternative left sources that are posting to the Facebook page for the Defend the Egyptian Revolution. I'm affiliated with socialistworker.org. There are many other excellent sites. Read the statements by the Revolutionary Socialists of Egypt in response to yesterday. Actually, it's posted on the website as well as on the Facebook page for Defend the Egyptian Revolution. And many of us will be going out on Sunday. Some people are going to show up with Egyptian flags in a massive march against racist violence and police brutality in this city. Egyptians know a thing or two about racist violence and police brutality at home. We can show you it's not over, and we have much work to do from here. And it really does matter. I know this wasn't an enormous protest, but frankly, I'm glad we outnumbered them by far, I would add. But I think we have to say that they want to say that this is over and it's done, and now we go back to normal. Nothing is over, nothing is done. The majority of the Egyptian population is not eating, is not working, does not have a future unless this revolution continues. So we will continue to stand in solidarity. So if you're not yet with the ad hoc committee to defend the Egyptian revolution, please join it. Go onto the Facebook page. If you want to join the listserv, you can find out about it on Facebook. Please do so.
Thank you.
People should go onto Facebook and look us up, Defend the Egyptian Revolution. I'm Sherry Wolf. You can find me easily enough on Facebook as well. And basically, we're going to be out there again, of course, on Sunday at the mass march against police violence and stop and frisk, because what is happening in this country is happening there. And we have to stand together in solidarity against police violence and military violence and dictatorship, no matter where it is, here at home as well as abroad.